All right, y'all. So it's Ariel coverage back for part two with the Black Mermaid. The Black Mermaid. Let me put the emphasis on the fuck you mean.
Yes. Okay.
So the conversation that we just had off camera with a little sesh going on, like we had to let y'all get some more of this conversation because the little snippet we had was just good, but there's a lot that we have in common besides our names. And yeah, y'all need to get some of this real ass feel, like this, like the little Angie Martinez in real life type vibes. You know what I'm saying? So, we both have the same name. We both, we love to write. We love the music. We're from a similar area of the country, but we also both have parents that have faced cancer. And that's some real, if you haven't experienced anybody in your family having cancer, you don't. It's a very unique experience, whether you're facing it yourself or whether you're watching somebody you love go through it. And so I just want to, take a moment to just send some love her way. If you're watching this, send some love her way as well. But how has it been like as a counselor, and as a person, like learning to look at life differently, like the grief process? How is that? How is like being a counselor helped you through it?
Uh, um, hmm. Well, I don't necessarily know that I would attribute it to the counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know that. But I could say, even going back to kind of what we said in part two, in part one, was that I do a lot of shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
And so within the shadow work that I have, even as recently as last night, done, because it's an ever-going process, I'm finding gratefulness versus trying to, looking at it so negatively, because as we were just saying, I do feel slighted in some ways because I am so young, losing my father and my mother both to cancer. But at the same time, especially when it comes to my father, like I think about how close we really are and have been my entire life. So even if he goes today, he knows his baby girl was like a daddy's girl.
Straight
You
up.
feel me? So right now, and of course, feelings change. That's why the shit ain't real. Things they change. But right now, the feeling that I have, of course, I'm overwhelmed a little bit, just with emotions. But once you get past the emotions and I really just sit with the actual relationship and reflecting on the relationship, I am grateful because I've had the opportunity to know such a wise man. And
That's real.
a lot of what I say, even as we were talking about in the album, in the raps and stuff, it comes from me being raised heavily. Now, of course, I'm raised by my grandparents, but I saw my daddy every day of my childhood. He came by the house after he finished dropping off his dime sack every day.
Same. My daddy was somewhere fixing something on somebody's house. But I
saw the nigga every day. So it's like I had a heavy influence of like the male perspective growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And to know kind of what is a value, what's not a value, the decisions that you make and how you may be judged upon these decisions, regardless of if you think it's fair or not. You know what I'm saying? So having that male presence in my life, I wouldn't take that back for anything, even though it's just been, he's not gone yet, but 30 years so far. Yeah. It has given me a solid foundation to really judge what, one, my partner, two, what I would raise my child to be like, my son, because he will not be dependent. He will get it. You got it. I mean, I'm going to be a mother. Hopefully I won't be, single mother. But if I am even, there's no coddling here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not your place.
Right.
Fuck all that. You gotta do certain shit. So it's like the way my daddy lived his life by any means necessary, literally got clean because he got a kid on the way. Like, and somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
The mama ain't doing shit. So she got to know she got a parent that's going to be here. And from day one, that's been him. So to me, it's being grateful right now Of course, it might change tomorrow. I might be pissed at God.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just gratefulness.
I feel you because that's helped me with my father. When you know that every moment can be the last moment, and then again, even if you don't have a good relationship with your parent, because I also deal with that too, you still know, like, damn, I need to. How would I feel if this moment were not this moment? If I was, if I didn't have access to this moment, and it does help with a lot of them situations, like, and the shadow work helps too.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about off camera, remembering that these people are human. So if it's anybody going through, like, especially that family hurt is motherfucking different.
Yeah, and I would say even gratefulness for that because I've always seen my dad as human. Like, I done met all the hoes. I'm just being real. Like, he would get in the car with me after being with one of them, like, this, like, and give me game. I know what the fuck not to do. Like, the birds and the bees conversation, for example. That conversation with my daddy was like, so pretty much, what would you do? Say that you give yourself for the first time. And this man literally gets up and like, next! How you gonna feel? And I was like, God, okay. He's like, well, that's what the fuck it is. Get out of my car. That was my birds and the bees conversation. And he's like, I'm a man. I had a baby on my first time, but you know, who the baby with? It ain't me. Who you with? It ain't me. So I didn't get to see the superhero everybody talk about. You know what I'm saying? He's a superhero because to me he was
prepared
authentic.
You for life.
That's why he's a superhero to me because of the real.
Yeah.
Because he was straight the fuck up. Even like I said, busting down one of the thotties and then telling me I met the bitch. He's like, you see this bitch? Don't you ever? Like, and I'm like, you just okay, all right, but that's some real shit.
Shout out to Black fatherhood. Bro. Y'all always have a space in my heart. That's preparation. Like, sometimes that's like scared straight for hoes.
For real.
It's scared straight for the hoes.
Right.
For real shit. So, again, we talked about you being like a big shit talking in your music, and we talked about it off camera in a previous conversation about, your upbringing. I believe you also said your grandmother kind of like gave you that space to say how you felt as a child. Can you kind of like talk about that and with your father and your grandmother and how that contributed to you being an author and a musician?
Most definitely. One, they always, let me just clarify. So my mother's mother and my father's mother became pretty much best friends to raise me.
That's dope as hell.
That's dope as fuck. One born in 1930, one born in 1932. So very fucking old school.
Yeah.
And they passed away within the last 6-7 years. So pretty recently. So it was a lot of wisdom, first of all. Now, two completely different opposite people though. Now, who I actually live with is my father's mother. She raised 2 boys. So,
I bet she made some good cornbred. I'm just saying
good everything.
Okay, continue.
But she raised 2 boys, and so with that, I still got a rougher, but very sweet. Like, I don't know how to even make it make sense to people who don't understand it.
Nice nasty is what we call it in the South when somebody be like, here, take this. And it's a whole plate of food.
Well, that was actually my mother's mother, but she was kind of like nasty. Like, she don't even give a fuck. That's what I respect about her, because if she don't like you, I don't give a fuck that you're a kid. I don't like you because of who your mom. I don't give a fuck.
My grandma was called Miss Chris, and she was like that too. Like, she was, shout out to Miss Chris. Like, when she loved you, she was gonna do for you, but again, she was gonna cuss you the hell out while she did
Exactly. She gonna feed everybody here, but let me tell you exactly what's wrong with you.
You're gonna be like,
well, yeah. And then go get your mama so I can tell your mama too.
And then but that's with love, because if I ain't care about you, you wouldn't be in my house and you wouldn't be fed.
In the first place. But I would say that with my grandmother, I was, again, it's my dad's mom. So I'm with her every day, pretty much. And she did allow, and I know this is going to throw a lot of Black folks off, but she allowed me to cuss in the house. I could not be like, fuck you. Mm-hmm. Fuck anything on your end. I could not do that. But if I'm venting, fuck this shit, that's okay. But if it turn, you're gonna get, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's only when that space is given.
Exactly.
Because you better not do that shit in the grocery store, like, or at church, or, you know what I'm saying? But she allowed that space for me. When I was small, she allowed me to write on the walls. Now, I know black families is like, what the fuck? As long as I'm in my room, it's your room. It's your room. I could write, and that's how I learned how to write. I didn't like writing on paper. I liked writing on a wall because I thought it was permanent if I wrote it on a wall. I don't fucking know.
I didn't know when you were going to be an author before you even knew.
Right. I was like 2, but it's probably covered up now. But like if you were to have seen that, even when I graduated, you would see like right here, just like A-E, until I figured out how to spell my name. Like,
but I think when you pop a child when they learn to write, then they have a fear associated with writing. Then in school is more of a task, and then you're more likely to have ADHD because you're like, spanking. Mm-hmm. Oh, if I look over here, I don't remember spanking or pain.
Right.
So to go back to a conversation again that we had off camera, I think that's like, not only did that contribute to you being an artist, an author, someone is able to inspire and help other people, but like, that gives you better heart health as a black woman. Like, I think if more black people had like ways to have outlets as kids, then maybe there would be. We talked about this kind of with the takeoff thing. Black people are so pent the hell up all the time. This black on black fucking stereotype that they put on us. It doesn't. That shit is false. Like it's a proximity thing when people actually kill each other. But with that being said, when they talk about like black men and senseless, quote unquote, senseless murders, it's because black men are fucking pent the hell up all the time because they've been told don't cry since they're a little boy or called whatever the hell they're called as a child. And black women, we're dying from heart attacks and fucking other heart issues because we're told you got to be strong, you got to do this, you got to do that. So like, it all starts with that childhood. It all starts with like what you're actually fostering. And I feel like what you were talking about before, like it goes back to accountability. It feels like me as a parent, I feel like every generation has to examine how the fuck we're raising our children and what we think our parents did wrong, and then like combine those two things and make sure that we don't perpetuate the cycle. But like, how do you think being like, again, from the counselor standpoint, how do you think you're like, I kind of already asked that question. How do you think that you being able to like speak up and that affected like your creative process? Like, do you feel like you deal with like less writer's block where you're writing as an author? Like, do you feel like it's easier to create?
Yeah, definitely. The throat chakra ain't blocked at all. Like that, it actually needs to be tamed a little bit. Because I have a problem now knowing like what's the appropriate way to express, because I can do it any way you want. If you want it written, I can write it for you. If you want me to speak it, I can speak it for you. But it's about how the message will be received best so that it actually affects change. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody who don't read, why the hell would I write it to you? Somebody who don't listen to music, why the hell am I putting it in a song for you? You know what I'm saying? So for me, it did definitely, it allowed me to express, but as an adult, it's now about finding the compartments, because that's who I am, finding the compartments for that to be appropriate, because I still believe that everything has a time and a place. Even in a house, to me, everything has a space. And if it's not there, I'm thrown the fuck off. So even when it comes to my expressions, I can feel how I feel, but it's like, now it's about putting that where it needs to be, I will say. But I don't have a problem expressing how I feel.
That's real. So speaking of expression, what's your favorite track on Off-Kiltered?
I knew that was coming. And I was actually listening to the whole album like since last night. Because another thing about me, once it's over with, it's over with. So I ain't heard it since it came out, for real. I'm on to the next shit.
It'd be like that, like when I watch my old interviews. Right. Like,
right. Okay. my favorite track right now, I'm going to say, Jesus. Okay. I'm going to say, that's hard. That's so hard. Okay, I'm going to say I really dig my intro.
Yeah,
Like,
you came in.
I really fucking dig the intro.
With the fire.
And I'm gonna say Take It From Here.
Yeah.
So that's the second single.
Okay.
Yeah. So the intro is like a tie, I would say.
Yeah, the intro track is.
Thank you. And it changes. It does change because I couldn't even answer that the night that the album came out. I got asked that so many times. I'm like,
because you have to let a project like Off-Kiltered digest. Because like we just did, you were just like, "Ha, I got that."
Right.
So speaking of that, and like kind of how we love to have those moments or artists, like wrapping up, how do you want to be remembered as a person and as an artist? Like, what do you want your leg? I know deep, right? This whole second half, real deep.
Right.
Real deep. The first was just a tip, but this is deep. So, yes, how do you want to be remembered, like as an artist and as a creative, as an influencer, like even down to all the psychological things we've been talking about?
I would say I want to be remembered as authentic, and definitely someone with a pure heart, because I do everything with good intentions. Now, things come out differently through the flesh, but my spirit, again, we getting back to the third eye, spiritual part of myself. I don't do anything to cause harm.
Real shit. Like, I might make a mistake, but I ain't doing it to cause harm. I
do anything to cause harm. So for me to be remembered as a genuine, pure-hearted sister, I would be great.
Whew, and that's how I remember you. Let me stop. Like, I'm just glad we made it through this without crying, because I'm a crybaby. And look, we got deep hair. But
I don't do that in public.
Man, listen. This a crybaby thug, right? This a crybaby.
You called me yesterday around 1, maybe, but
man, this is I'll be the crybaby Ari for the two of us, because for all that. But yes. So let the people know where to find your music, where to find you in general. All
platforms, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, all of that.
On my playlist, all of that.
All of that, yes. Shout out. But you can find me under Blk Mermaiiid. That's Blk Mermaiiid with 3 eyes. So, and that's all platforms. Facebook, Instagram. I don't really fuck with Twitter, so.
You know what I'm saying? Because y'all be negative as fuck. Yeah, this might not even show
TikTok as well. That's on there as well.
On the clock app, TikTok.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for sitting down
for
with me, Blk Mermaiiid. See, I told y'all we have more in common than the name, you know what I'm saying? So we out. We about to smoke again and talk some more, but y'all not privileged to this conversation.
Right.
Y'all might get a part 3 one day, but thank you for tuning in. Make sure you go check out the Blk Mermaiiid and holla at your girl Ariel coverage. Peace.